Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club.
It's all that shit stuff.
Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club.
Hello, Ollie here from Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. A few of you, well, one of you at least, has asked to see my toy collection, so I thought I'd share my toy collections along with some stories that go along with the toys, some of my favourites, some of my issues I have with certain toys. So yeah, let's go and have a look at them. So the first set of shelves is mainly Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, as you can see. So here we go, this is the first shelf. At the back you've got Ectotron, which is the Ghostbusters Transformer. Down there you've got the Lego Ghostbusters, a lot of fun putting that one together. Apparently you can get light up kits for that, which I'm quite tempted to get hold of one of those. There you've got the San Diego Comic Con exclusive Funko vinyl idols. I hate Funko Pops, but I think the vinyl idols are pretty cool. They're like based on this CG artist called Kabuki, I think, and his work's awesome. I'd love to get the other two of these. Sadly they didn't make Winston though, which is a shame, because you know Winston's an awesome character. Here we've got the Matty Collector, which is this one. Excuse the paint on my fingers. And you've got the Diamond Selects, which are at the back. Both pros and cons with these. I like the ab crunch on the Diamond Selects. Sadly the Matty Collector ones don't have those, and their packs are a bit small. The packs are awesome on the Diamond Selects, but those figures are a bit, I don't know, a bit janky. Their packs kind of fall apart a little bit. I've had to glue Egon's several times. I'd like to have just got the standard versions of Peter and Winston, but you know, budget is always a concern with these things, and I found them quite cheap. Actually, Winston's you can't actually even put his proton pack, his gun on the proton pack, because it came faulty. But yeah, I do like these figures, and I'm looking forward to the Hasbro line, seeing what they're going to be like, the Plasma series. And then over here we've got the, I think it's Johnny Lightning, Ecto 1A, which was from my good friend Tom. And then here we've got the Brickheads, Peter Venkman and Slimer. Behind there, that was the Builder Ghostbusters logo, which came with the Matty figures. That's quite a big line actually, and you couldn't actually buy that line in stores. It was like a mail order only thing. But they released these ones, and I got them from the pound store. Not for £1, for like £5 each. Then these ones I actually just picked up quite sporadically, because you know, I didn't collect figures for a long time, and for a couple of years I just had Egon, and then slowly managed to get the other ones. I found Venkman in B&M bargains for like £6 and stuff like that. Anyway, this, I'm not sure what these are called, like metal heads or something like that. I'm not sure, but he's made out of metal anyway, so you don't want to throw that at someone because it'll probably hurt. At the back you've got Where's Chappelle? Peter Venkman. He only made like 100 of these, and I think he did a few in different variant colours, so like Ghostbusters 2 or the real Ghostbusters. It's got a cool little 3D printed backpack as well there, proton pack. And then here you've got the Diamond Selects Pterodog. Apparently it comes with different horns, so you can either make it Vince Clortho or Gozer. At the back, just random, this is Film Junk, which is my favourite podcast. This has got every single episode up to episode 500 on there, and then that's their 700 episode club pin. So yeah, next shelf. So here we've got the NECA Toon Turtles. Awesome line. I kind of wish their feet were on like ball joints or whatever, so they could fit flush on the floor, but other than that they look pretty awesome. Lovely sculpts on those. The Bebop and Rocksteady are massive figures, but they're so heavy that you kind of have to prop them up a bit at the back because they're a bit top heavy and like to fall over. The Shredder there, I'm not a massive fan of this Shredder. His legs look really bow-legged. I don't know if it's just me, but they look a bit weird. I don't know if I've just got a faulty left leg there. Left leg? Yeah, left leg. And then you've got the Foot Soldier, which actually is the same buck body as Shredder, and I think it may have been the same body they used for their Mirage Shredder and Foot Soldiers, which I'd love to get hold of those actually, because you can get some nice bootlegs of those. And then Here we have the movie Turtles. So I got the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set and probably paid way too much money for it, but you know, it comes with a nice box and yeah. Back you've got the movie Shredder and Foot Soldiers, and just there you've got Splinter there. Nice, lovely figures. I mean, the Shredder looks awesome. I mean, you know, for a 6-inch, 7-inch scale figure, he looks fucking the bollocks. I can't wait for Casey Jones to come out. And it comes with another Raphael, but he's like the undercover. You can't remove Casey Jones's mask, apparently. They couldn't get Elias Coty as his likeness rights. And I'd like them to do an April O'Neil and Tetsu as well. Is it Tetsu? I don't know, the guy that's always with Shredder, who like helps train the foot soldiers. Tatsu? Anyway, yeah, I'd like that to round up that line. Maybe Danny, the little punk kid. But I'm probably going to leave it at just the first Turtles movie. They're doing stuff for Turtles too, like Toka and Razza and stuff like that. Maybe Vanilla Ice, who knows. But I'm not going to bother with those ones. You've got to like draw the line somewhere with these things. And then here we've got the Mirage NECA Turtles. So now these are actually bootlegs, but they fucking are awesome for bootlegs. And these are probably my favourite turtle figures. The posability on these is insane, and it's my like ideal look for the Turtles, personally. At the back there you've got an actual legitimate one, and I'd love to get hold of those eventually, but they're just quite pricey. They have done April O'Neil and Shredder and some Foot Soldiers in this style, and you can get the Shredder and Foot Soldier bootleg, so I'm going to try and get hold of those. But April, I was going to get one last year for about £50, but it's now skyrocketed up to £200, so I don't think I'll be getting that one. Anyway, next shelf. So on the third shelf up, we've got some of the reissues of the 4 Turtles. You probably see they're all there. The colours are a bit off on these. I don't know if anyone else has got these, but yeah. The mould, they look great, but they're just a little off on colour. There you go, you've got the movie star Mikey, you've got the skateboard, and then just got random assortments of villains and heroes here from the line. I'm still building up these. I'm not going to get all of them because, you know, you can just go crazy, and as I said, you've got to kind of cut the line somewhere. I don't really like the variants either, so I don't really get like sewer dropping Mikey or whatever, or you know, all that kind of stuff. I just kind of keep it as is. Some of these are like actually ones from my childhood, some of the ones I've picked up more recently. So like Worm is one of my originals, Bebop is one of my originals as well. But you know, over time you lose them, or you know, you just didn't have them as kids, and so you just kind of pick them up as you go along. I think Muttman is one of my favourites, as is Mutagen Man. I love that figure. You could actually fill him up with water, and he did actually come with accessories where you put inside and like little bits and pieces float around. So Super 7 are actually doing like their own line of Ultimate figures of these, and I can't wait. They're actually going to do Mutagen Man, he's in Wave 2. Baxter's in Wave 1. I think there's a Foot Soldier coming. You've got Splinter, Bebop and Shredder, as well as Leonardo and Raphael at the moment. What else we got? Okay, next shelf. So just a few boxes. There you've got the San Diego Comic-Con NECA Movie Turtles box. There's a box for my Mondo Leonardo 1/6 scale. I love that figure. I would like to collect the whole line, but they're just so big. And then at the top there, that's my, is it SH Figuarts Raphael, which you'll see later on. He's a wicked toy. He's got like weighted feet, so you can do like some wicked kick poses and stuff like that with him. And then here you've got the more recent Ghostbusters reissues. Really good looking figures. I'm not sure if they're actually like moulded from the original moulds, or if they're just scanned from the original figures and made that way, because there's some slight differences. I think they might be a bit taller and some of the details a bit softer, but yeah, they look great. I mean, I've never seen Stay Puft looking so white before. Look at that, blinding. And then Slimer's a lovely shade of green there. I'm not going to open these because I've still got my childhood ones, so I'm just going to keep them as is. And here, these are my 10 back turtles. So the 10 back, if you don't know, those are the original first 10 figures that they released. So I would like to get the other 6 eventually, but it's just trying to get them for a good price. Leonardo's suffering from what is known as frosting, I believe, so not the sexual term frosting. Sorry, my cat scratched me as well, a little fucker. So yeah, it's where, I don't know if something to do with temperature and stuff like that, it kind of creates like a little film on top of the plastic. You can just wipe it off if I was to open it up, but you know, I don't really want to do that. Apparently you can put it under UV light and it gets rid of it. I've tried it, it hasn't really done anything. Raphael's probably in best condition, and he was actually the cheapest one, going for like 30 quid, so bargain. The second set of shelves is comprised of a lot of Batman, and then there's an 80s and 90s shelf. So this first shelf is all Batman the Animated Series and Batman the New Adventures, well, the New Adventures of Batman, sorry. And yeah, these are by DC Direct, and they're wicked looking figures. They look great standing, and they actually come with stands, but the stands are pretty useless and they hardly hold on to the figures very well, so I just kind of have them all bunched up together, propping each other up for now anyway. Like as I said, they look great, but I do have an issue with the way that their joints are around the waist area. They don't look very good when they're posed, in my opinion. But they are lovely sculpts. The ventriloquist is one of the hardest ones to get hold of, because he goes for about £100 online, but I was at a toy fair and I found him for £5. Someone was just selling off all his old stock and just kind of wanted rid of it. So I was like, I'm having that. Probably could have sold it on and for some profit, but you know, I'd rather have him on my shelf. I love the Bane figure and the Mr. Freeze at the back there. What else we got? Penguin was another one that was hard to get hold of. Again, got him for £5. I love the Bullock figure. The sculpt on that one is awesome. Batman, I have an issue. I think he's a bit bow-legged, this one at the back, and he kind of looks a bit odd. I tried to like put him in hot water and kind of straighten them out a bit, but it didn't really work very well. So I've got a second one here that came with the Reaper from what the fuck's it called? Mask of the Phantom. What else we got? Okay, so this is more the New Adventures of Batman here. So where they kind of redesign the style. I love the Scarecrow design for the second version. I need to get the Scarecrow for the normal Batman animated series actually. What else we've got? I quite dug the Joker redesign. I just think he should have had red lips. And then it's a bit obstructed, but at the back there you've got the Dark Knight version, Dark Knight Returns version. You've got the Mutant. You've got Carrie, and then you've got Batman at the back. You've got Baby Doll there, Two-Face. Firebug. Oh, I quite like that Bane as well. Again, he's quite top heavy, so he has a problem falling over, so I've got him propped up at the back. But yeah, so that's the what shelf. So on the second shelf, it's a bit more of a hodgepodge, a bit more of an assortment of stuff. So here you've got the plate arts Batman and Catwoman. I'd love to get the Joker and Bane figures, but they're quite pricey. Apparently you can get decent bootlegs, so I might just have to invest in those instead, because they're like a fraction of the price. There's my childhood Penguin. I've got a weird little Batman figure there. I think it's the Multiverse Dark Knight that's like by Mattel. Got the original Kenner Batman animated series. My friend Ash Trigg gave me these. I tell you what, these fins would pierce someone's eyeballs. They're so sharp. I think they're meant to be kept in collector's cases, but you know, I prefer things to collect dust. These are the Greg Capullo versions of Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman. Pretty decent figures. Wonder Woman's got weird articulation. She just looks a bit surprised. There we go, got my childhood Man-Bat from the Batman animated series. Now, I love these figures. These are by one of my favourite comic book artists called Darwin Cook, and I think this Batman figure might be my favourite Batman figure I own. I just love that design. It's just so simple and sleek, and it just really pops. Again, the articulation isn't great on these, but you know, they've just got normal superhero poses. Got a Wonder Woman there. I'd love to get a Superman one, but you know, they haven't made one. They did make New Frontier figures, but I wasn't quite keen on those figures. I had like really bizarre poses. You've got the Flash there, Supergirl, Catwoman and Harley Quinn. And then at the back there, my good friend Liam bought me that years and years and years ago, and I've had to fix his ears with toothpick picks many a times, and that's the Gotham by Gaslight Mike Mignola Batman, which I really dig. Didn't like the animated film though, but I dig the comic book. So the third shelf up is kind of like my 80s shelf, which is full of like all 80s kind of toys. I mean, there's not many, but so we've got some Master of the Universe stuff. You've got the original He-Man and Battle Cat there. You've got the Super 7 reissue of, it's not a reissue, it's kind of like their reimagining of this figure, but kind of done in the animated style. Then you've got the Filmation Super 7 figure, which is a wicked figure, really nice, but their joints around their legs are a bit weak, and they kind of have a nasty habit of toppling forward now and again. You've got the original Skeletor, and again you've kind of got the Super 7 reimagining of the original figure, a bit in the style of the cartoon series. Then you've got the Filmation Skeletor there as well. I bought that when I found out I had an ear operation, and I was just like, fuck. I was just really pissed off that day, and so I was like, I need to buy something just to cheer myself up, you know, a bit of retail therapy. So I bought him, and I thought, oh, I can't have Skeletor without He-Man, so I bought He-Man as well. And then, actually, my good friend Alan Cargill bought me that. He owns a toy shop in Glasgow, I believe, and he was really kind, and he sent me this figure and also Hodak and She-Ra, and they're lovely little figures, and I really like them, so thanks a lot, mate. Then you got McCready, which is again by Ware Chappelle, who did the Peter Venkman on the first shelf, on the Ghostbusters shelf. And then we've got a Gizmo that was bought by Tom several Christmases ago. Got a Lion-O there, and his eyes do still light up. I've got the little thing that you put on your finger and you jam it in his back and his eyes light up. Now you've got a reissue of Bumblebee there. G1 Optimus Prime, he's a reissue. I did have the original one as a kid, but as many of my friends will know, he got stolen by a so-called friend when he came around to play, and denied it, you know, many times, until one day I was actually at his house and I found my Optimus Prime there. And you know it's your own toy because you know all your little dinks that you put in it and things like that, and he had it, the fucker. And then this is actually a KO of a Masterpiece Transformer. I think he might be a bit smaller than the normal one, but I think he just looks awesome, and he was only 30 quid. It looks fucking awesome. I love that figure. I don't know if they've done a trailer in that scale, but I might have to have a look and see if they did, because I'd love to have that one. So here we have the 90s shelf. At the back there you've got my original Megazord and Dragonzord. Here you've got Earthworm Jim. I mean, I love those games. I'm not a big supporter of the creator of the game himself, because he's a bit of a douchebag. Dave Perry, who's the game designer, is wicked. He also did the Jungle Book game, I believe. Very similar kind of styles if you actually play that game. But yeah, I mean, I can't help it, but I do love Earthworm Jim. It's a childhood favourite, but the creator's a bit of a dickhead. So yeah, look it up if you really want to find out why he's a bit of a dickhead. There you've got Darkwing Duck. And is it Steelbeak, I think? Yeah, they're like Playmates. They're childhood toys that I still have. There's my Toxie from the Toxic Crusaders. Love this figure. I bought him when I was about 8 years old. We went on a family holiday trip to America. Sadly, that is not that figure. I don't own it anymore. But well, I mean, I obviously own it. I had to rebuy it, but I got it for a good price. It goes for quite a pretty penny now. But yeah, he's all complete, and I can't wait for the Super 7 version of this. It's gonna look sick. There you got the Mattel Simpsons. I mean, everyone loves Simpsons. Series 1 to 7 or 8 are amazing. Kind of lost its way after that. When probably Matt Groening went on to Futurama. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but that's a great show as well. But yeah, as a kid, like 1990 was all about the Simpsons. Like, it was just everywhere. Got some more Power Rangers. I kind of fancy getting the other ones there just to kind of round them out. Got Mulder and Scully there from the movie. I actually have them in their winter attire somewhere. I might have to whack them on the shelf as well. You've got the Beavis and Butthead figures. I'm not actually sure who made these, but they're pretty decent figures. They've got a weird articulation, but they do have these like talking stands. Oh, that don't talk. That's embarrassing. There you go, here's another one. Oh, that one doesn't talk either. They talked yesterday. There we go. Oh God, making me look like an asshole. You got some Jurassic Park there. Alan Grant looking like, I don't know, not Alan Grant. And then you've got a Velociraptor and a Dilophosaurus. And then you've got some boxed, in-box Earthworm Jim. And then there are 2 boxes for my Hot Toys figures. Then my 2 cabinets are just filled with all kinds of odds and sods. So you've got some Hot Toys, some of my awards, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Batman, and my own figures. Here on top of my Detolf, I've got a Batman Animated Series Man-Bat. I mean, he looks wicked, but in actuality, he's a bit of a shit figure. His feet always collapse. His arms keep falling off because you've got like replaceable arms, so it looks like the wings are folded up, but they just keep falling out. And his head can't go forward, so you can't get any decent flying poses. Here you've got the Lego Batman 89 Batmobile. I had a lot of fun putting this together. It was quite hard because I bought a pre-owned one, and so it wasn't in numbered bags. So I just had to kind of search for ages for each part that I needed, but it's well worth it in the end. It looks nice. So here we have my Hot Toys. We've got Luke Skywalker from The End of the Last Jedi. I mean, I love that film. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it really worked for me. He actually comes with a arm with a light-up lightsaber, but trying to detach that to get the light-up arm on it is, I mean, I don't want to mess with it because it says use pliers and stuff like that, and you know, these aren't cheap figures, so I don't really want to use that and damage the figure, so I've just kept the standard version. It's quite a long blade, to be honest, but I mean, the likeness of Mark Hamill is really good. He's notoriously an actor that's quite hard to capture in action figure form, and I think they've done a pretty good job with that one. I kind of wouldn't mind a younger version, so like a Bespin Luke or something like that, just to kind of go alongside of it. And then here we have Batman, portrayed by Adam West, and this fantastic figure. Comes with several face plates that you can put in to do different like grimaces and stuff like that. He's even got quite a pudgy belly. But yeah, he's a lovely figure, and he was the first Hot Toys I bought, and he's actually quite an affordable one. I mean, I don't know about now, but when I got him, he was like about £150, which, to be honest, for a Hot Toys is pretty darn cheap. I've toyed with the idea of getting a few more of these, but it's a real steep rabbit hole that you could go down with those figures, because you know they are pricey, but they do look awesome, so you know. Anyway, down here, so these are 2 awards that I've got for films I've made. So the Empire Award is for a Ghostbusters in 60 Seconds that I made, and that one is from a Empire Strikes Back in 60 Second film that I made. So there's a theme going there. The Empire Awards was amazing. I got to go there with my best friend Rob. We got to see loads of stars like Henry Cavill, Chris Nolan, the Game of Thrones crew, Simon Pegg, the guy who plays Gollum, what's his name? Andy Serkis, loads of people. Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe was there, Liam Neeson, Ralph Fiennes, loads of people. It was an amazing, incredible night. This was actually given out at the San Diego Comic-Con in 2008. Sadly, I couldn't go there, but the award was given out by Kevin Spacey, so it's probably a good idea I didn't go. Anyway, there's the actual award letter. So in there it says my name and Robert Kenyon's name for, you know, producing our Ghostbusters short film. And then down here we have my original turtle figures. So these are probably, I know I said the NECA figures were my favourite, but these are still my favourite turtle figures. And this figure itself might be my favourite figure of all time, I don't know. But I just remember when meeting my mum outside of school, and she had it there as like a present for me, you know, because I was pretty unwell at the time and I was doing quite well at school and kind of getting better, so she bought it for me, you know, to kind of say well done. So it kind of means a lot to me. And it just brings back massive nostalgic feelings, that figure, just having it and owning it. These 2 actually came from America. I got them when I didn't even know what Ninja Turtles was. It was obviously a big thing in America at the time, and this parcel came with these 2 figures, and I was like, what the hell are these? So I was kind of ahead of the curve with that. The van itself, when I got it down from my parents' attic a few years ago, it was in pretty rough shape. Some of these were missing, the stickers were all off, and that's why I had to kind of clean it all up and put new decals on it. This is broken since I was a kid. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think the first time I fired it off, it just snapped it straight away. So it is held in place by a lot of super glue, but it still works. So, you know. And then down here, we have my real Ghostbusters figures. So this is a mixture of my original figures and some that I've rebought over the years. So the Ecto one was rebought because my one as a child I converted into the Jurassic Park car. I put stickers, white stickers all over it and cut it in with felt tip to be all green and yellow and stuff like that. I have no idea what happened to that. I'm guessing it went in the skip or the bin one day. That's my original Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's got all felt tip and all kinds of markings all over him. The figures are not my original ones. I actually still have my original ones, but they're in terrible shape. Like Ray's legs are all broken and their packs are all in terrible shape. So I managed to pick these up several years ago for a good price. Yeah, I love these figures. They're great, hold a lot of memories. And then there, you've got the eyeball ghost, but he's so hard now that it doesn't work anymore. And then behind there, we have the original Kenner Proton pack, which I love that thing as a kid. I mean, I remember me and Rob, the one who I won the Empire Award with, would be running around our gardens with those on our back, and you could just, that clank of the hollow plastic hitting your back, and then the gun constantly falling out is a memory that I'll cherish forever. But yeah, as I said, that was an Ecto 1A that I picked up from a Comic-Con, and yeah, just spent a couple of hours cleaning it all up, getting rid of all the crappy stickers on it because I hate the stickers on that bloody car. And yeah, brought it back to how it should look and got some new decals for it and stuff like that. If you can see them. There you go. Whoop. So yeah, my original plan actually for that was to do it up a bit more like the movie with lights and all kinds of spraying the metal to be more metallic and stuff like that, and kind of doing all the proper rooftop elements and stuff like that. But I just thought at the end of the day I want it to be like the toy that I remembered as a kid that I got for my 5th birthday. I remember getting those some of these figures in the car and setting them all up before I went to school one day, and then coming home and they were there ready for me to play with them. You've got to love Ghostbusters, it's the best. So here we have the Spirit Halloween Proton Pack, Trap and PKE meter. Now my goal eventually is to completely modify this, spray it all up, fill in the holes, add new details. I've actually started to build my own neutrino wand for it that's actually in scale with the pack, because the one that came with it is tiny. So this is actually from an 80% scale build that I've, well, 3D printed parts that I've treated and put together myself. It's not perfect. It's my first time ever doing it, but it looks alright. I need to spray it with some matte so it doesn't look shiny, stuff like that. But again, it's just to go on my wall. I'm not a cosplayer or I'm not into costuming and stuff like that. So this is just to go on my wall next to some real Ghostbusters prints and other Ghostbusters paraphernalia that I've got. And I've also got an Alice frame for it that it'll eventually go onto. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that all together and getting the electronics into there and stuff so it lights up and, you know, various buttons and that work, or, you know, activate it and stuff. So here we have the Batman animated series Batmobile. Now I got this fairly cheap actually. I got it for about £15 at a Comic-Con. The guy, again the same guy who was getting rid of the ventriloquist and all those other figures. And I just got him dirt cheap and he was just wanted rid of them. So I was like, I'm having that. He's probably a bit big. I don't know why I'm calling he, it's a car. But yeah, he's probably a bit big to keep on a shelf and that. And so it's kind of just propped precariously on top of this display cabinet. So on the first shelf of my display cabinet is my Star Wars display. I mean, as much as I love Star Wars, I really don't have many Star Wars figures. I don't know why that is. But yeah, I've got a nice ATST which I restored. I kind of cleaned it all up and got all new stickers for it. You've got a Neem Nub at the back. I just love Neem Nub. He's just weird. He's got a weird vagina for a face and it just makes me laugh every time I see him. Don't you think his head looks a bit big though in the new movies? Because I'm sure he was a puppet in the original ones, but I don't know. So these are the retro, like new versions or whatever of Luke and Vader. I mean, they're not bad, but for $9.99 each, they're quite expensive for what they are. And if you actually look at the original ones, the detailing is a lot softer and not as crisp. There you've got the Black Series Luke and Boba Fett. Great figures, and again, they actually got quite a good likeness on Luke's face actually. I want to get the Bespin and maybe the Hoth versions of Luke as well. Let's go with that. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of Luke. There you've got the Elite Series K2S9. So I think the Elite Series are like exclusive to the Disney store. They're a lot like the Black Series, but they're made of die-cast metal. So yeah, he's again like the Peter Venkman. If you throw that at someone, you're going to cause some damage. And then these are from like 2002. I'm not sure what line they're from, but yeah, it's Luke Skywalker from Bespin, and you've got Vader from Bespin as well. And you know, you press the button on the back and they kind of do an action. Luke's hand comes off if you want to. He's got a pistol at the back. Yeah, no, I really like these figures though, because you can actually take the blades out of the lightsaber hilts, which are pretty cool. Then these gold TIE Fighter and X-Wing are from my wedding. My wife bought a load of these like little die-cast Star Wars toys and painted them all gold and put them on the tables and stuff like that. It was just a nice little touch. A few of them went missing there at the wedding, like the Millennium Falcon, Rich, and some other people took them as well. And then this was one of the very first presents Caroline bought me. She obviously just went to a toy store and bought this little Yoda figure, and he's lovely. On the next shelf down, just a few little odds and sods. So you've got the SH Figuarts Raphael, which is a lovely figure. I bought that in New York from Midtown Comics, I think. Yeah, it's in Times Square. The back there, you've got the Mondo Leonardo. Again, I'd love to get the other ones of these, but they're so expensive and they are massive. So I don't know if I can justify it, but maybe one day I'll take the plunge and get hold of them if I can find them for a good deal. I like them though, because they're a lot like the Mirage Turtle figures, like the NECA figures. They're not as robust as those in terms of like posability and stuff like that, but they are pretty damn good though, to be fair, and they are very heavy. Here you've got the NECA Kill Bill Bride. Back in like, what, 2004, I was obsessed with Kill Bill. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like it. I probably wouldn't buy figures from it now though. But this was from the period that NECA and McFarlane would make figures, but they weren't like superposable. I mean, all their limbs moved and stuff, but if you move them, they would just look awkward and they wouldn't like stand naturally unless you just put them in the pose that they were designed to be in. And then this Batman, I'm not sure what this is from. I bought it when I went to America when I was a kid. And I think it may have been from like a greeting card shop. He's just made out of like a vinyl, rubbery plastic. And yeah, I know they did a Catwoman and Penguin as well. But yeah, I've kept him for years and he's remained in my collection ever since. Here we have another Batman shelf. We have one of my favourite Batman figures, which is the Batman 89 Toy Biz figure. He had 3 different heads, and that's one of them, the more square. I actually quite like the look of him on the back. I think that's more the Superpowers figure, but I could be wrong. But it looks very different to the figure they released. I would love to get hold of the Batmobile and Batwing. I mean, it wasn't a massive line, you know, you've only got the Batcave and then 2 other figures, the Joker and Bob the Goon, so it's not like a crazy line to collect for. There may have been a Joker cycle or something like that that's not on the back of that box, but I don't know. Then this was an amazing find. I found this at TK Maxx, which is like an ex-catalogue shop, and it was £10, and that is nuts for like a DC direct resin statue or whatever they're made from. I think that thing goes for like a couple of £100 now if you want to sell it on eBay. I don't want to. I've still got the box with its certificate of authenticity though. So, and then behind there is my favourite Batman comic of all time. That's the Long Halloween. That's the Absolute Edition, which my wife bought me several birthdays ago. I love it. The artwork in that book is amazing. So this last shelf is actually comprised of figures that I've made myself. So the very first thing I ever made was this Proton pack, which was me just testing the waters to see if I could make like something that I could reproduce in resin. So this was originally made with Super Sculpey, and then I made a latex mold of it, and then poured like, you know, 2-part resin mixture in there to create, you know, my own plastic Proton packs, which then been painted and put together and stuff. So I didn't know what to do with these, so I thought, oh, do you know what, I've got the Ecto 1 as my wedding car, I may as well make them as my pinhole, buttonhole things for my wedding. So I painted them up in the colour scheme for the wedding, well, my tie anyway, so blues and greens and golds and stuff. There's a dried flower from 3 years ago from when I got married. Yeah, so me and all the groomsmen and my best men and my dad and my brother-in-law all wore these. Then the very first figure I actually made was a Ninja Turtle, and I made it as like a default Ninja Turtle so I could make it as any one I wanted. So I made like nunchucks and sais and stuff like that. So a lot of friends have got various different turtles. So some have got Leonardo, some have got Donatello, some have got Raphael and stuff like that. But I'm still quite pleased with that figure. But I thought I could do a better version, so this is Mark II. So again, I did it as a default turtle so I can make whichever ones I wanted. They don't move, again, like he doesn't move either. I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably drill holes and kind of make them movable, but that was just one step one step too far. I wasn't quite ready for that just yet. The next figure I made, I actually haven't got a version in there, but I'm currently making one up, and it was my own Beavis and Butthead. So there's their heads. And I've got 2 bodies that I'm currently working on at the moment. Yeah, then the next figure, what was the next one I worked on? I believe it was her. And I just made this kind of space character. It was from a music video I made, so I kind of made my own version of that character. It's from a video for a band called Bear Makes Ninja, and the song's called Shenanigans. So if you ever want to check that out, feel free. It features my friend Natalie just killing loads of aliens after she gets deserted on an alien planet. Lots of stop motion and blood and guts in that video. It was fun to make. The next one I believe was this custom Ghostbusters figure of Egon. So I got a Egon Spengler Kenner figure and kind of re-sculpted a bit. I added in a new padding on his arm. I added the piss belt, the piss tube thing. I added some more detail to the belt. I used the Matty straps for his backpack, and I actually used the Matty Proton Pack, which I cast these all in latex and then silicone, sorry, and then kind of made my own resin versions of them. So I've got several different versions of these, so if anyone's interested, I've got more of these, and they're more than welcome to have their own ones. So I've done them in real Ghostbusters style, or you know, the ghost versions from Citizen Ghosts, or covered in marshmallow or slime. I mean, one day I'd like to do the other characters, but I just really can't be bothered at the moment. Next, I then cast a Raphael figure. Again, he doesn't move. I probably could have made these movable, but again, I was kind of I was just more in the art toy realm. I mean, there's a lot of people who are a lot more kind of imaginative with these kind of things, and they do them in translucent colours and all kinds of crazy stuff. But me, I just kind of wanted to make him look more like what I'd imagine Playmates would have done if they did the Mirage kind of turtles. So that was my kind of thinking with that, so I gave him a tail as well. There's another Egon Spengler there, as you can see, in the Citizen Ghost style. Then the next figure, I believe, oh yeah, another Egon as well. This is actually like obviously unpainted, just in resin. The guns still come off as well. Then I made my own He-Man figures, which again, same process, made out of Sculpey, then cast in silicone and then kind of moulded with resin. So I've done a few different versions of these where it's like normal He-Man or Faker. This is obviously Anti-Eternia He-Man. Like with this one, I wanted to kind of make it in the same scale as the Ninja Turtles. So, I mean, you can be the judge of that. I'm just knocking everything over now. So yeah, that was my idea behind that. I wanted to make more. I wanted to do like a Cthulhu as well in that scale. I thought that'd be quite funny, like a Ninja Turtles Cthulhu style figure. It's kind of finding the idea, because like Ninja Turtles wasn't just straight up just a Cthulhu. It'd have some sort of like Chris Cthulhu or something, I don't know, like a stupid name to go with it. The back hair, that's based on another music video I did called Bill's Mandolin from the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Yeah, again, doesn't move. However, I have delved into making my own my first movable figure. When coronavirus hit, I thought I'm going to challenge myself to make my first articulated figure, and so I've built my first buck, which is here, and it, you know, not too bad. You know, the legs move, everything moves. So I then have now started to kind of work on them and then kind of make them into something now. So this is based on that, but this is a bit more like the music video version. And then this here is a custom action figure, which is from I think it was Action Man, what am I about? Aquaman figure, which I then customized into Man, which is from a film that I've made, my own film called Super Zeros, which follows 4 Birmingham-based superheroes. And then, so yeah, this is Man. I've actually made some other figures from my Super Zeros film. So this is Crimson Mist. So this is using a Mera figure that you'll see later on that I've got quite a few of that I like to use for customs, just because it's kind of a simple body that you can kind of make whatever you want out of it. And it's kind of the same line as Aquaman, so they're kind of the same kind of build. So I thought they'd all go nicely together. There's another one there. And then this is Zero, so he's the hero from Super Zeros, or the main character, the one you follow. This is a very early custom that I did. So it's not the best in the world ever, but you know, it's not too bad. This is using a Batman figure. He's from the Young Justice animated series, I think. It's just come back on the DC Universe app. But yeah, so I bought a few of those with the intention of making all the Zero figures out of this, but it's not the same kind of buck and build as that, so I'm going to make new Zero figures using the Batman figures from that line, because they kind of have a cool cape and stuff like that, so they'll all go well together. There you go. So here we have a load of action figures still in the box that I intend to make custom action figures out of. Now all of these were cheap figures, I didn't spend a lot on these. All these Mera figures were, I don't know, £3.50 each, and the rest of these like £4.99 and stuff like that from B&M Bargains. So I have Bane, Batman, Scarecrow, Catwoman, Talia, another Catwoman, Zatanna, another Zatanna. And the idea with these is, what I really want to do is, I'm a massive fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman films, so I thought I'm going to make Christian Bale Dark Knight Batman with that, Tom Hardy Bane. Now I'm not actually going to make the Scarecrow out of this Scarecrow, which sounds weird. I'm actually going to turn this into the Joker, because I thought he's kind of got more of a Joker kind of, from the Dark Knight kind of physique, and it would kind of make it look a bit more out there and a bit kind of stylized, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. I've got a Joker head to go with that as well that I can modify. Again, Catwoman to do the Anne Hathaway version. But then I thought I could also do an Anne Hathaway version with that, because it's kind of almost there, almost done for me, so that might be fun to do. And again, I was thinking of doing the Batman Returns Catwoman with this. I thought that would be super fun to do. And I don't know what I'd do with this, who knows. And then these ones, all these Mera figures, I kind of just want to make all different characters from my own films and stuff like that. So from my Bill's Mandolin video, there's several characters in there I want to make, Super Zeros, or you know, the Space Girl that you saw in there. I thought that might be quite fun to make one using these, because they're pretty much plain bucks. There's no detailing on them, so they're pretty much fairly plain and just kind of good to go with using them for customs. And in here we have all kinds of stuff. So we have some of the wacky wind-up turtles. Again, I would like to display these, but I want to make sure they're fully complete. So Donatello needs his feet. This is mine from when I was a kid. Got Leonardo, another childhood figure. And then Raphael. I need Michelangelo to complete this set. Once I've got him and Donatello's feet, they'll be going up on the shelf. There's a Joker that I'm going to use for the customised Batman animated series Dark Knight mashup that I'm going to do. There is Harley Quinn. Not sure what I'm going to do with her yet. I guess I could do a Margot Robbie one. Here we have Mulder and Scully from the end of the X-Files Fight the Future film. There we have Evil Lynn. Another Evil Lynn. Not sure what I'm going to do with these. These are customs that I've made already for... Oh God, get off. Don't know what's going on there. There we go. So this was customised for a film that I made already. It was just like a little prop for someone to hold. Again, it's based on that Bill's mandolin video I did. Yeah, it's not the greatest. I mean, look at the mask. It's pretty shit, but I did it very, very quickly. And again, another little custom figure that I made. Not great. These are using She-Ra figures. So they're pretty quick, kind of little nasty things. Another one. Bloody hell, this is a mess, this drawer. Look at this. Get off. Look at him, he's so janky. He's from like, I've forgotten what they're called now. Turtle Fighters or something, but look how nasty he is, he's awesome. We've got the Bruce Wayne that you can dress up. He's missing an arm, so I need to try and find that or get one online. That's the base for like Ash from the Army of Darkness. Batman cape. Batman. I have no idea what that is. Okay. So here we go. We've got loads of these like Mera and Aquamans that are just going to be used for customization. Plans to do a Donatello in the style that I did the Raphael that you saw in the other shelf. Leonardo. I redid his eyes because I hated Leonardo's eyes on the original figure. He always looked sad to me. More Batman. Batman without a head. There's Ash from the Army of Darkness. Again, like I said, it's one of those NECA figures from the late 2000s, mid to late 2000s, where they could only do like one certain pose, otherwise they just look stupid. So they're pretty much a statue. Their new ones look awesome though. Ocean Master, I don't know why I bought this one because there's not a lot I can really do with this without some major like chopping it up and doing God knows what to it. There's a kind of a hybrid of Leonardo and Donatello. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Got original Batman here with his belt. The rails on about with the broken feet. This here is a hodgepodge of all my figures that I've been working on or just I plan to put together someday. I mean, these are for my friend Alan Cargill that I haven't got around to making yet. I promise I'll get to them soon. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So you've kind of got these Batman figures that I've already started to modify. What else have I got? I've got loads of stuff. Faker, He-Man. So yeah, I thought I'd make a few mashups of my Beavis and Butthead figures. There's a Batman Butthead. I've also got a Robin somewhere. Started to do some Ghostbusters versions as well using the Proton pack that I made. Actually, it worked out to be quite a good scale. So yeah, I mean, I've made some of these years and years ago and just never finished them. There's a He-Man that's not been finished. Got his arms. What else have I got? Got a Bumblebee that probably should go on this shelf, but it bugs me. Lol, bugs. Because he's not in scale with my Optimus Prime. He's far too big, so I need to get a smaller one. Yeah, you've got a Man-at-Arms there. My childhood Peter Venkman, who's kind of beaten up to shit. I think I tried to colour in his hair with crayon. got a Winston Zedmore, Captain America, and that's the Toy Biz version. We've got some Kevin Smith figures. So you got Brody, Randall, Jay, Silent Bob, Willem, Dante, Jay. He actually was able to talk, but I don't think he can talk anymore. He could never stand up as well. I mean, look at those legs. Budding, 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 budding. And then you had Silent Bob. He actually had a talking button as well, but he actually never worked because, you know, he's Silent Bob, so he never talked. Edward Scissorhands. I mean, like a lot of kids, I had a massive Tim Burton phase, and I still love Tim Burton, like his earlier stuff. And it's a nice actual, I think it's McFarlane, I think that one. And then you've got Darth Maul. I might actually put him in the Star Wars shelf. I've got his lightsaber somewhere in a box. And then we've got Jack Skellington. I think this might be NECA as well. Diamond Select have got this now, I think, and they're a bit more detailed, maybe a bit more robust, I don't know. But if the Ghostbusters figures are anything to go by, probably not. Got Zero. And we have the poop monster, the Golgothan or whatever he's called from Dogma, the beast that's made up of shit. So thank you for looking at my collection. It's not a massive collection, but it's a nice little insight into my interests and things that I like. I mean, it's probably not that much different to other collectors, with Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters and Master of the Universe being a focal point in the collection, Batman as well. There's some other figures I'm looking forward to that are coming out later this year that I'm hoping to whack on my shelf to collect more dust. So you've got the Super 7 Ninja Turtle figures that look awesome. I just hope they fix that kind of ankle articulation so they don't fall forward. What else you got? You've got the NECA Back to the Future figures that look awesome. You've got the NECA Casey Jones and Raphael 2-pack. Can't wait for those. I'd also like to actually get the DeLorean from Playmobil, believe it or not, and also the Ecto one to go alongside of it. What else is there? There's Master of the Universe Origins that looks pretty cool. The ones that you can take apart and create your own figures out of it, which kind of helps with the modification, customization community, so that would be fun. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, check us out on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter as well. You know, there's an audio version of the podcast which is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So yeah, hope to see you there. See you later, bye.